to the puzzle, onto the double.
The Dutch, great sailors and traders, dominated trade and colonization in the New York area until the 1600s. But how did they get here? Why did they come here? How did such a small country develop such a prosperous colony? These are the questions we asked, and what you are about to see is the answers.
In the late 1500s and early 1600s, European countries competed to be the first ones to find the Northwest Passage to East India. The current eastern route involved a long journey around the tip of Africa, so they desperately needed a shorter way to go. All the countries knew that the first one to find the passage would become extremely rich because everyone would want to use it, so the race was on. One of the countries that was very much involved in this competition was the Netherlands. The people that lived there, the Dutch, were very good sea merchants and sailors, and in one of their efforts to find the Northwest Passage, they ended up discovering one of the most prosperous trading posts in the New World, New Netherlands.
Henry Hudson was born in England in about 1565. He learned about sailing from fishermen and merchants and proved to be a natural-born sailor. He made several attempts to find a Northwest Passage to Asia, sponsored by different companies, and became very well known for these attempts. Hudson was hired by the United East India Company because he had a lot of experience. They wanted to embark on yet another mission to try and find the elusive Northwest Passage. He set sail on the Half Moon with a crew of about 20 men in 1609. Like the famous Christopher Columbus, Hudson never made it to Asia, but he did discover what is now known as New York. He went up today's Hudson River, claiming all the land along the way for his employers, and that area later became known as New Netherland. A 3-year monopoly of the land was granted to the New Netherlands Company in 1614. The company built Fort Orange on Castle Island near Albany and began trading with natives for furs. New Netherland became one of the biggest trading areas in the New World, but the area was never colonized until 1618, when the monopoly ended and was not renewed. The area was in need of a permanent political presence in case of a possibility of an English, French, or Spanish attack, so the Netherlands granted a 24-year monopoly to a company that would colonize the land, the Dutch West India Company.
The company wanted the area to become a province, and their wish came true in 1623 when New Netherlands was granted provincial status. The first settlers were immediately brought in, but surprisingly, they weren't Dutch. They were French-speaking Walloon families. French-speaking Walloons were people of Celtic stock in northeastern France, present-day Belgium, who became Protestant during the Reformation. Because of this, many of the people were exiled to Holland, England, and Germany, and emigrated to the New World in 1624. Settlers continued arriving until 1625, along with livestock and supplies.
The Mohawks and the Mannequins were two native tribes that lived near Fort Orange, now Fort Nassau. The fort was surrounded by a lot of Mannequin settlements with whom the Dutch had a trading agreement with. The Mohawk tribe got jealous of the Mannequin trading success and attacked them in 1626, causing a war to break out. The Dutch sent help to the Mannequin tribe because they wanted to maintain their trade agreements with them, but the tribe was still defeated 2 years later. Because of the war, the women and children that lived in Fort Nassau were forced to move to safety.
The Director General of the company, Peter Minuit, purchased the island of Manhattan and built Fort Amsterdam to provide a safe place for the refugees of Fort Nassau to live.
Like in any city or state today, things had to be paid for to maintain the colony. The West India Company had to pay for doctors, military protection, and your usual bills and fines. The money that was left over from paying these was the company's profit, which soon proved not to be enough. The company came up with the idea of a patroonship plan to help with the company's profits. A patroonship is basically like a partnership where a patroon, or a person who held an estate with certain privileges, was given land, and in return, they would bring settlers at their expense. The patroonship plan was created and proposed in 1628. It was designed as a way to lure more settlers and wasn't very popular at first, so revisions were made. Patroons could trade with the New England colonies and Virginia, and could partake in fur and fish trade. The revised plan was accepted in 1629, and Kilian von Rensselaer became the patroon to the largest fur trading area in the region, Rensselaerswyck. But the patroonship plan brought in so many more colonists that the Netherlands had to expand along the Hudson River from New Amsterdam and northwest to Fort Nassau.